Okay, so is it recording? Yeah. Welcome to the second quarterly Apache Mesos Doc-a-thon. Thank you guys all for coming. This is something we're doing every quarter so that people make time to work on the docs, because I know that a lot of the time you're busy. Everyone's so busy. So this is a great chance to just come together and work on them and form a team and win some prizes. And this time we are doing things a little bit differently because I don't think we have anyone who's actually a new contributor here at all, but we did pack the agenda with a couple of like easy contribution fixes. So I think Greg was going to elaborate on some of those. Just in case you watch the recording later and you want to pick up one of these, please feel free. We're always looking for contributions, not just now. And then we will form teams and get started, make sure everybody's name and project that they want to work on is on the agenda doc. People hack on things for a while. At 6 p.m. we've got sandwiches coming for those of you who are here. And then sometime around, I think probably 7, everybody will present what they did unless everybody's done sooner. So does anyone have any questions? I'm Judith. I'm the DCOS, and Mesos, and whoever wants to talk to me, I'm here to talk to you. I'm a community manager. So questions?
Hello, I have a question online.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, it's Aaron Wright speaking. I'm just curious how you'd like to have online participants participate.
Yeah, so we're chatting in the Mesos documentation chat Slack channel, and I put the agenda in there. So I think what's going to happen is Greg's going to present the easy fixes, and then we're all going to just go around, introduce ourselves, and say what project we're hoping to work on today. And so we will make sure to call on you guys first. And please put your name down in the doc with the project proposal that you have. Sound good? Cool.
Yes, thank you. I just need to figure out where the Slack channel is.
Uh-oh.
I'm on the DCOS community, but not necessarily the Mesos one.
Okay, I'll Slack you. Awesome. So with that, here's Greg.
Hello. I'm Greg Mann, for those of you who don't know me. Username GregoMann on Mesos Slack, Jira review board. And we have a few little doc project proposals that we put in the shared document. So this is in a calendar event on the Mesos community calendar. That's one way to find it. If you can't find it, you could also find us on Slack or over email. We'll get it to you. So one of the items is to link to new binaries and getting started and the downloads page. So I don't think the getting started page has a link to any binaries. So we could just have a link to the latest binary packages in those pages would be nice. Small little thing to add. We also, this is a little bigger task. We want to move our project roadmap from wiki to the documentation. So right now we have this completely neglected wiki page that we have our roadmap on. We would like to bring it into just the rest of the docs so that it'll get a little more love. It'll be in one place where it's apt to get more frequent attention. It'll be easier for us to update it. So that would be a really cool thing to add. Also, general spell checking and copy editing. We definitely make mistakes, so anything you care to copy edit anywhere would be wonderful. V1 operator API docs. So one thing that I personally think would be kind of nice is to change some of our existing examples into just curl snippets that you can just copy and paste into the terminal to make some of these API calls. I find myself, when I have to make API calls, just translating constantly the examples into curl commands. So it would definitely make my life easier, if not anyone else's, but I suspect it might make some other people's lives easier too. So that's an idea. And reviewing and updating the presentations in the documentation. I think that there are probably some presentations in there that haven't been looked at in a while. We can probably add some more. So I think that might just need a little love in general. Be good to look at that. Updating the build doc on newer Mac OS X. So I don't actually know what is involved in those changes, but Ming added that, and it would be great if we could keep that up to date with the latest requirements on OS X. I assume we're deficient in some regard. Also, updating resource quota change. I'm not sure what needs to be added there. Can anyone? Oh, we've got a mic on the way, Ming.
Oh.
Do you want to tell us what that one's about?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I just added to I didn't notice that it's the easy tweak section.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, well, we made some changes to the quota, so there are some instructions on the doc page that needs to be updated to reflect the changes.
Okay, cool. So we need to change some of our quota docs, and you could help Ming out with that if you so desire. So those are some of the easy tweaks we had down. There are also just some other things we added. A fundamentals section. I think, so I didn't add that, but I have some ideas in my own head of what a fundamentals section might involve and what might be good. I think we could use some more like fundamental overview of Mesos. We have the architecture page, but I think some more like fundamental operational documentation might be good. And another related item that I added was an introductory framework development guide. So I think this is like another take on the fundamentals section. I think it would be good to have maybe some fundamental operations docs and some fundamental framework development guide docs. We have documentation for the scheduler driver API and for the V1 scheduler API, but we don't really have a high level story about, hey, this is how the life of a scheduler works. This is the scheduler life cycle, what the offer cycle is like, how you respond to it. So I think a doc like that would be good in getting new framework developers up to speed. And also, yeah, a fundamentals section. I'm not sure what other folks had in mind in regards to that, but I think some operator fundamentals would be good too. And I also added another item, some resource, like fundamental resource documentation. We have in the agent configuration realm, we have a doc that tells you how to configure an agent with resources and attributes. And that kind of gives an overview of resources in Mesos a little bit. And then we also have a couple other places where we review the types of resources that are available, like in the multiple disk support section. We go into a whole bunch of detail about the different disk types that are available. And I think it would be cool to have a single document on resources in Mesos. These are all the options, everything you might see. And then the different feature-specific docs could link into that when people want to get more info on like the nitty-gritty resource details. And I think that's all we have up there. So certainly other ideas are welcome. You can work on any documentation you like. Yeah, feel free to find us on Slack or via email or on Zoom here. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Judith, or should we just get started? Cool. Yeah, should we go through the remote folks first? Cool. So that's us. That's also us. I see Andy. Andy, do you have any inkling yet as to what you would like to work on?
I have no clue what I'm going to work on. I also have Joe here, by the way. So Andy up there is both of us.
Oh, awesome. Hi, Joseph.
Hello.
Cool. So that's fine. You guys can get back to us on Slack or in the document or elsewhere when you decide. How about Aaron Wright? Yeah. Do you have something to say?
Joseph, if you're there, can you work on the standalone container doc?
Hi, I'll introduce myself when it's my turn.
Hi, Aaron. Yeah, go ahead. Did any of that strike a chord? Anything in particular, or do you want to take a look over stuff first?
Well, this might be a bit of a hit and run or drive-by contribution from me, but I tuned in because I was responsible for the Apache Flink Mesos integration and wrote the scheduler code for Flink and took advantage of Netflix Fenzo in doing that. I also use DCOS Commons, and so I've encountered various things in the course of working with schedulers. And I have a little laundry list of things mostly to do with the offer lifecycle that I think would have been handy to see in the documentation. So if I can find a way to just inject some paragraphs or commentary into some of those pages, it would be really great.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I think improvements to documentation that come out of practical experience like that are some of the best. So we would definitely love to see those changes brought in. So we can find you, I'm also on DCOS Slack, we can find you there, or if you make your way to Mesos Slack, either spot. Let's sync up on the changes you have in mind. That sounds great.
Yeah, I'll be on the documentation channel in just a minute. And if anyone else is interested in working, especially on offer lifecycle, please connect with me.
Cool, sounds good. So now we'll just send the mic around the room and see if folks have an idea what they're gonna work on. Meng, you are first. Do you know what you're gonna work on?
Yeah, I'm going to work on the quota change and also update the build instructions for newer macOS based on my build experience. That's.
I don't have any specific plan yet. One idea is trying to work on the resource provider API doc that that hasn't been written yet.
My name's Nathan. I thinking about doing the curl one. I was a bit in the same way there, mentally converting them all to curl.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. Actually here with Judith on the community team, so I'm here to sort of help out, and maybe I'll pitch in on something here and there. We can find something.
Hey, my name is Gilbert, and I plan to work on the clean up the upgrade.md and for 1.5 release, and as well as the changelog for 1.5, considering we are cutting the 1.5 RC1 by the end of this week.
It's Greg again, and I'm not sure exactly what I'll do next, but I'll put it in Slack.
Hi, this is Gaston. I'm also not very sure, but I guess probably the resources doc. Yeah, I'll update the doc.
Hi, this is Santhal. Yeah, even I'm not sure because what I was thinking is taken up already. So I'll pick up something which is about updating the documentation to the latest.
My name's Judith. I'm going to do the presentations page. Yeah. Is that everyone? Okay, great. So if you've already decided, or once you decide, please put your name next to the project that you're working on, and I'll let you guys hack away. Erin, we'll catch up with you in case you need any help with the process.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. I don't know, talk to Ben. The question was, what's the prize? So everybody, please, if you haven't already, join the Zoom meeting and make sure to turn the sound off on your computer before you join the meeting. Like put your volume all the way down to 0. Yeah, just don't join the audio. That's really smart, actually. Because what we're going to have you do is you're going to present the project that you did and just walk us through your changes. And then at the end, once everybody's presented, we're all going to vote with your Post-it. And if you're remote and you're not shy about which one you're voting for, just Slack me. Or if you are shy, I don't know what to do. Greg, kick us off.
Okay, first I'm going to share Andy and Joseph's stuff since they are gone at the moment. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so, oh shoot, actually, be good. Should be good. So this is the developer guide that Andy added. We have kind of an overview of some tribal knowledge, as he said, I think. Some basic, like fundamental principles that we follow when writing code, how we report errors, and some Windows specific stuff since he is our Windows guardian. This is really useful, I think, for all of us who don't know so much about Windows, so we don't screw things up. Cool, and then he also made some changes to the Mesos C++ style guide. So let's see if yeah, so let's look at his commit here. Oh, that's him, not his commit. Cool, so he, yeah, prefer little arrow operator in some cases, a couple other little fix-its. So those were Andy's contributions. And then from Joseph, Joseph at, let's see, Joseph is the standalone container stuff. Yeah, cool. So he added lovely standalone container doc, because this is a feature that we introduced recently with the storage stuff and was not yet documented, but provides some new API, or a new API for users to launch standalone containers. So that's awesome. And even a lovely ASCII graphic, which we all love. And then I'll go ahead and present what Aaron and I have been working on as well. So that was Andy and then Joseph. And then here is, so Aaron and I just have a Google Doc right now. We wanted to do it in here to start. He's actively contributing, as you see. So that we could just collaborate on here. And I think this is actually going to take us some more time. So we just really have, we're just getting started here. But we wanted to provide a high-level overview of how one gets started with writing a Mesos scheduler. The existing Mesos scheduler development guide pretty much just follows the old scheduler driver API. So it's pretty out of date, and it doesn't provide an overview of some high-level concepts like what does the life cycle of a framework look like? You know, what is the offer stream? How do I respond to it? Just some basic stuff that kind of eases people into it before we actually expect them to start looking at protobuf definitions and stuff. So yeah, we have a section on framework lifecycle, handling offers, how to understand resources and tasks, working on evaluating the fitness of offers, how to launch tasks, what's involved in launching tasks or task groups, and then managing tasks. So we'll have a section on status updates, reconciliation, that kind of stuff. So this is all stuff that's covered in more detail in some of our other docs, but this provides like a gentle introduction and then links out to all of that other documentation so people can dig in further. So that's what Aaron and myself were working on. And next, I'll pass it over to Senthil, who is sitting right next to me.
Thank you, Greg. So how do I present?
Oh, I think you have to. Yeah, just desktop.
Okay. So you guys are seeing my hello. Yeah. So you guys are seeing my screen. Okay. So this is not the pull request, but so I worked on one patch, which is this getting started with using Mesos RPM binaries. So there was a short discussion with Greg had with other Mesos committers to provide a link to the Mesos RPM binaries in the getting started page. So what I did was use the RPM, use the in the downloads page link to the bin tray RPM URL, and gave instructions on how to download the latest RPM and install it, which will install the dependencies. And then I also gave a simple instruction to how to start the Mesos master with the work there, which is already created by the RPM, and the Mesos agent pointing to the master and the work there, and given information on if more complex setup is required, consult the administration guide. So this is one pull request. Another pull request was just a hyperlink to STOU stout early process. That's it. Thank you. And I'll give it to Nathan.
I can't share here. All right, so I went ahead and did the curl task that was proposed. The idea was adding curl examples would make it easy to copy and paste. So, here we go. So let's do it there. So nothing ultra exciting, but just some nice copy and pastable curl examples here. Some of them get a little nicer as the JSON that you have to post gets more complex. So you can still copy and paste it without having to worry about trying to format one line of JSON. That's about it here, just going through and splitting up all of them.
All right, mine's not worth showing the diff. I fixed about 73 spelling errors. I used just a for loop in bash and a spell, and now no one knows how to spell acknowledgement, so I fixed that.
So I just add, well, because I come in late, so I just do a small thing, just add some documentation for the gRPC supporting the process. And I just spend all my time drawing this fancy, super fancy diagram and explain, like, in brief, how the gRPC, asynchronous gRPC call will work in the process, and then provide a very like simple example about how to use that. That's all. And also have a note about like performance notification. That we should know about the performance impact.
Let's see if I can get my screen share here. Okay, so I updated the presentation page. I added all the recent Mesos cons. I added some carriage returns or new lines so that the two sets of links didn't run together into one big word. And I changed all the YouTube links so they don't autoplay, because autoplay is my nemesis. And that's my project. So, did we get everybody? Yeah, because Aaron was on your team. Great. Okay, so just to remind you guys, I'm going to read through these one more time. We've got the developer guide. We've got standalone containers documentation. We've got a beginner's guide to developing Mesos frameworks. We've got Mesos RPM binaries. We've got new curl examples. We have spell check, the ultimate spell check, and gRPC support in libprocess. Yeah. Okay. So, oh yes, and presentations.md. So everybody please vote for your favorite thing and I'll get your stickies. Yeah, just one. Everyone vote once. Aaron, if you want to vote, Slack me your vote. I would know because everything would have one vote. Oh, that's smart. Okay, I'm counting. Hold on one second. Okay, Aaron, if you want to vote, Slack me right now because it's your last chance. He's typing. You can't vote for yourself. I'm going to count you as a hanging Chad. Okay, I think he's good. Okay, so we have a winner. Our winner is GRPC. Woo! You won. Yeah, GRPC won. Yeah. Woo! Great. It was beautiful. So talk to Ben Hindman about your prize. Yeah, really. I'm not kidding. All right, so that concludes our second Mesos Doc-a-thon. Thank you guys for participating and all your hard work. This was awesome, and
that was a lot of fun.
thank you, Aaron. It was really wonderful to have you.
Hey, yeah, I don't think I've ever written a document collaboratively like Greg and I were doing here. That's quite cool.
Awesome, sweet. It was cool to have you. This was great.
Working with you, Aaron. Thanks for coming, man. I'll see you online.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And now you got the review board work to look at.
Yeah.
So we definitely.
So
Did you have like Python stuff in mind you wanted to work on? Really?
So,